Everybody, it's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald for Practical Spirituality Live. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. We're just taking a few minutes and getting settled in here for today. We are coming to you live from the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We have a live studio audience, and you can come in and come here anytime you guys would like. I got my glasses on. I broke another pair of glasses, so just to share with you guys, when you break your glasses are what helps you to see, right? So that means I'm having adjustments metaphysically and in Earthworld into the way that I am seeing things and understanding my perception of things as well, right? So I have these glasses on for today, and in a mad rush till I get another new pair, but they help me be able to see. And so remember, everything, right? Everything is Earth world, right? Has messages and in the metaphysical, okay? So everything goes hand in hand, metaphysical and Earth world. So here we are again today live in Virginia Beach, all right? We're here live on Facebook, and we're here to help and assist people in these times, guided by higher knowing, higher power, God, love, universe, right? To answer your questions, give you solutions, and teach you how to really work with love and live your greatest life by working with love energy, okay? I have a few things that are going on that I want to talk to you guys today about, and we have our studio audience in here. Hi, everybody. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for coming. Madeline, thanks for coming. Steve, too, and Sophia and Molly in the back. Hi. Thank you all for coming. And you too, Jen and Rachel. Thank you all for your help, and thank you, everybody, for your support. Okay, so we do this show on donation, so please do donate when you can, and I tell people when you can and if you feel it in your heart. And if you don't know what to give or how to give, or you feel that you can't give, ask love, ask God, ask the angels. This is what we teach. Ask and you shall receive. So this is what we teach and do, and everything will be in alignment. And if universe says to you, or you feel like you can't give, then you don't, right? But what happens is you want to make sure that anybody in your life, with everything that you have going on, that it is that you know that it's an energy exchange, and you honor that energy. You honor that energy exchange, that energy agreement from love, right? And sometimes that means that you won't be able to donate for weeks or months or years, right? But when it is time, ask universe, and you'll listen, and then you can give to us and help us to keep the show going, help us to keep our shop and center going in these times, because our job is to help everybody learn how to come from love, and we're super grateful. And this is so that we can usher in these new changes even faster and quicker, right, across the board in America, in this Earth world, everywhere, right? Because the more people come from love, the more we're going to change everything that's going on out here, because love is all the power. Self-love first, and that's why you don't make any sacrifices, right? You talk to love about what's the best thing to do in the perspective of what it is you're doing. You always talk to love, right? So the more we work with love, the more we change our own lives and live our greatest lives, but also the more we change the world out here. And then the more we have and step into our power, and then there is no toxic government, there is no toxic people, because all these systems will then be changed from love, and we will all be working together to change those things. So my job here tonight and into the future, as we do these shows every Sunday night at 7:15, is to give you the tools and teach you the tools of how things really work metaphysically in Earth world, Saturn's universal law, as well as metaphysically in all that is God or love, right? So the God's honest truth of it, right? Think of Pisces and Neptune if you're familiar with astrology. Okay, the God's honest truth is like Scorpio, scorpionic energy, right? And Pluto, right? Getting to the truth, death, dying, transformation, belief system. So it makes sense today too that my glasses would break. So thank you, everybody. I see you guys on my audience come in here, and thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting us. I'm super grateful. And please share, send out our stuff so we can, just get it out there, right? To so that we can really get this ball rolling, okay? All right, so tonight we're going to answer questions. We're going to talk about stuff like I just talked about this few minutes in our introduction. We're going to talk about these things. Any questions that you have in reference to how things work in Earth world, understanding the human psyche, understanding the soul, right? Understanding astrology, understanding love, and how to work with that love is all the power. And how do I do that, right? This is what we're here to teach and do. And you can ask any questions both in your personal life and in the world, anything metaphysical, anything you want to know, we tap into the highest or the most loving space of God or love or universe, and all that is, the most powerful place of that, the God's honest truth, right, which is also known as Christ consciousness. And there's all different levels of God in all different ways, okay, both and or vibrations here in earth world as well as in all that is metaphysical. All right, so there's all different levels, right? And Christ consciousness is the best solution across the board to work with love all the time. It's ask and you shall receive, right? It doesn't mean that anything different from what we teach here is not good enough. That's not how it works, right? We are all part of that same vibration, and you are a particular space of God or love who came in here to do your greatest job for you, right? And you have special gifts and tools. All we're saying is get in the space of love, work with love as much as possible, Christ energy, right? Because we teach those tools to get you to the fastest, easiest, quickest way. And you have tools already that work for you. And what you do is you take all these gifts and you work together with them, and you follow your heart to make those things happen, okay? So, and when I say to make those things happen, meaning to make your greatest life happen, okay? So does everybody understand that? Yeah? Okay. So tonight, I have some tools here tonight because I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. We're picking up on a lot of energy, right? Energy is in everything. So a lot of you also will be feeling the planet's vibrations raising, right? Because we're getting waves and influxes and changes in the energy. All right. So what does this do? This will make us tired. This will make us restless. We're also dealing with a lot of other, a lot of different sources of energy coming in. So we have to be aware of what's really going on in the world and how to deal with these things. All right. So one of the things I'm going to do is talk about the symptoms and things that are happening to all of us, right? Like I'm having a really hard time as of late with autoimmune stuff, right? So what does this mean, right? So the energy is triggering what's happening out here with the shots and the stuff that's going on, and it's a complex thing. But this energy of what's happening out here, we will be picking up on the people being sick. And how autoimmune works is if you don't love yourself in the healthiest, best way, that's why it's called autoimmune. It's when your body attacks itself, right? So you're in a less than self-love space metaphysically if you have an autoimmune disorder, right? And so all of us usually come into Earth World with issues and things that we need to address and deal with. And this is really how things work with universe, love, or God, right? When we don't love ourselves in the healthiest, best way, and that's all the first mission of our souls, is to get in the healthiest space of love, right? And to be in that space and to work on our stuff, no matter how many lifetimes we have to come in or how much whatever our soul's mission is, we have to do this work because otherwise we can't be our greatest selves. We can't live our greatest lives. And it's all about self-love. It's self-love first. If I don't love me, then I end up with physical, mental, spiritual deficits across the board. Like right now today, my leg is a little inflamed, so I have a nice warm heating pad, right? One of those microwave ones that are so hot, right? No pun intended. So I have a nice microwave heating pad, and that's helping me for the inflammation on my leg, right? But I'm picking up all these energies from the shot, right? Or the shots, right? Energy from the toxic are trying to take over the world, take away our freedoms. Love is the ultimate freedom. It is the ultimate power. So when it starts to close in on us, let's say government, the school systems, the masking, the health issues, right? We are fighting a battle for dark and light against dark versus light, right? We are fighting this battle, and when we do that, we're going to pick up on this energy, right? And the more toxic it becomes, the more we have issues in us, physically, mentally, spiritually. So a lot of what I'm going in on talking about here is these issues, right, physically coming out in my physical body. And so autoimmune is when your cells attack itself. So where are you metaphysically attacking you? That's a less than self-love space. And this is for all of us, because this is how, by healing the stuff in us, and this is some of the roughest shit that we all got going on today, and into, it's going to be several months into the future, and it's going to continue as we all, at different levels and different vibrations, heal ourselves and our souls and our physical bodies. But this time for this fall is also designed for us to heal ourselves so we can be our greatest selves and live our greatest lives, but also for our own self-healing, but to heal others as things come with what happens with the vaccine, what happens with governments, how the people are going to come together. So this is really, really massive stuff. So it's like we're being force pushed into physically experiencing these things so we learn how to heal and take care of us and get ourselves in the healthiest spaces, because what's going to happen into the future is we're going to need to be the people who are going to come together with each other. So we're forging bonds. We're seeing who our real people are, right? We're seeing where we have deficits in our health, mentally, spiritually, and physically, right? Like my knee today, right? So, or where I'm not sleeping. So this energy is affecting all of us, because the more you crush in on your freedoms, the more you're not in a healthy love energy space within yourself, and the more you're going to have these kinds of symptoms. So I wanted to bring this up so everybody has an understanding of what's going on, because this is going to help you. So let's say wherever your weakness is when your soul came in, we all come in and we have stuff that we agreed to work on in this lifetime. So what happens is, all right, with these weaknesses, they're going to show up in our physical body, and you will see them basically in different areas all throughout your lives. So take a look at your history, because you'll see you'll have chronic problems in the same spaces, and they all are relevant to the self-love spaces that you have in your soul where you feel less than about you, and it's complex. Like me, the older the soul, the more stuff you got going on, right? The more gifted you are, usually the more stuff you got going on, right? So these things, right, are designed to come out of us to heal, for us to heal in us during these times and into the fall and into next year. Because like I said, the universe told me many times, you know, we're going to be hitting the ground running with the events that are coming, right? So there's lots of physical things happening in Earth world, and whether you're realizing it or not, you know, the shots are affecting people, right? You know, and I could probably, you know, I can't be worried about what the world thinks. I must do what I know is true in my heart, talk to universe. So bottom line is, right, you know, if you have a shot or you got the shot, there's ways to heal everything. There's ways to change everything, metaphysically as well as in holistic medicine as well, right? So my job here is to tell you that, so that if you did get the shot, it's not to scare you, but it's also to tell you that all of us are going to be going through health crises, physically, mentally, and spiritually during these times, right? Why? So that we can get the answers and get in our healthiest selves, because not only are we going to help ourselves and our families, but others too, because there will be a lot of earth world people who are going to be sick into the future, and they're just not going to have the hospitals, the nurses, and the people that they had before. Because if people do believe in earth world belief systems, and let's be realistic here, if you think about earth world ways, right, the shot is really a test. It's like what do you call it, a trial, right, to see if it even works. That's what they're trying to bill it as, right? But I'm not going to get into all the logistics of it, or all the things that God tells me is the God's honest truth of it, all right, because then we create more problems, and we don't want our show to be shut off. So what I'm going to do is just give you the God's honest truth of things, so that you know that there is, if you work with God or you work with love, you know, whether you got the shot or not, there's a way with love around everything. And the more you talk to love, God, universe, the more you will get the answers to change everything, right? Both here in earth world as well as across the board in your life. And with these things like the shots and the energy that you're dealing with, right? There's earth world tools, like for my knee, if I have a rheumatic autoimmune disorder or disease, right? If I have anything like that, I can use, you know, heating pads to help that, right? But I listen to God, universe, love, speak to me. I talk to them all the time. This is what we do and teach here, right? So they tell me this heating pad, and it really has helped great for circulation, right? And getting the blood flowing through my knee, as well as I'm using a whole host of other natural products that universe is guiding me to, so I can heal me, right? And be my greatest me. But this is all part of the whole process and the grand design. So when the shit really does hit the fan, because right now we're living in a massive illusion. We've always been living in an illusion, but it's even bigger and greater than anybody has ever imagined, right? And everybody still buys into the old, but there will come a time when these dimensional things meet, and it's coming like a steam train, all right? And as soon as things start to hit the ground, you know, and people are awakening. They absolutely are, right? So when people realize what's going on, then they're going to be looking for things, and they're going to be coming to people like us in this show. And that's why I tell you, share these tools, because the more you work with God or love or universe, the more you will get the answers and be your healthiest you and live your greatest life, no matter what shots they give or no matter what they teach of hate in school systems and all the toxic that's going on out here in government and taking over the world. I mean, this is really what we're looking at here, and you can't really honestly not look at the world and say, oh yeah, this is normal, this is healthy. You may be turning a blind eye. So where are you doing that to you? Where are you doing this in your soul, right? These are the avenues. Where am I not loving me and I don't want to see the truth about me in the world as well as in my soul? That's heavy shit, man. It's in my knee. It's in my knee. It's like, fuck, man. Every day I wake up, I'm like, holy shit, my knee, right? So I'm working with the universe to change all these things, right? So I'm using all different wonderful holistic tools, and we will be teaching you guys all about these things. If you are interested, and all throughout all of our programs, you'll learn something new all the time, whether it be holistic healing, metaphysical, energy work, working with God or love, all the time is what we do. So we're going to bring to you all different kinds of really great tools, gifts, wisdom from highest form of love, and astrology as well, because that's all part of the grand design, and it's all designed to help you. So please get our stuff out there, and thank you. So that said, do we have any questions for today? And you can please, does anyone have any questions about this today that I'm talking about? Steve?
No, my question is not specifically about this, but I want to clear something. Wendy asked me how like my driver, how when something is, and I said it's 60 miles of hell. So really, I've driven a dozen times, and I've had a couple really bad experiences, and I focused on the worst one, and I made it like every day is that day. And anyways, whatever that is of me that focuses on the bad and generalizes it to everything.
Okay, so Steve got recently started working at a new job, right? And he's got quite a hike to travel on certain days of the week. So instead of saying, I'm doing great, but you shouldn't be saying you're doing great if you're not really doing great, right? So, but Steve is saying that he picked out the worst stuff about the trip and said, oh, it was like 60 miles of all hell, right? So, and then what you do is when you say shit like that and you feel like that, you create more of 60 miles of more hell, and then you create more stuff being toxic across the board. Like all of a sudden, then you won't get along with the receptionist, or you'll have a problem with this person, or you can't pay for your lunch because your credit card doesn't go through, or your truck gets fucked up, right? Those are the things that this energy does. So as soon as you realize, and this is great, Steve, because this is great for everybody here, because in our people headspaces and in our toxic unwellnesses that are coming out of us now, right? And always, right? Because that's all part of the grand design to help us heal these things and change them and clear them out and free us from them, right? So all of this is great that you shared this, because once we change this, we change everything, right, in your life with the energy. So, and we all get in these headspaces that are totally, totally toxic. So I'm going to ask that we clear all energy that is all of this for Steve and all of us, right? Because we start thinking negatively because it's releasing out of us. That's part of the grand plan. But a lot of times what we do in our headspaces, especially if you're an air sign, astrological air sign, like a Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, if you're not in your healthiest space of you on any given day, man, and you start, your ball starts rolling in your mind, and you start thinking all these toxic things. Well, this just fucking happened, and what if that happens, and I should be doing this, and how am I going to fucking figure out this, and then and then you just go off, and you're in this terrible, like when I say terrible, it's a toxic space of emotions, which then fuels those very things that you don't want to happen literally. And in a host of other ways too, because energy is in everything. And those habits and patterns that create and do this, do it across the board in your life. If you think of it like in astrology as a sun sign, right? Your sun sign washes over everything that you are. So toxic or happiness and joy and wellness and love, or fear, washes over everything that you are in that moment as well. So it just doesn't come out in when I might talk to you, but it comes out in every energy that I have in some way, shape, or form, whether I realize it consciously or not. Especially and foremost in the stuff that is the most powerful related to all the stuff that you stated or said. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So I'm just going to ask the universe to clear, heal, and change all energy that is all of this in all of us, in our souls, and all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is. And in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for these gifts in our souls and in all we are, be, say, do, and create in the best way for us and all of something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. An easy way to do it is just ask love to be free of it. So you can just get into this, and then you can come here for the big heavy shit with me anytime you want when we're on here, as well as you could work with me as well. All right. And but we also do classes too that you could come to as well. So anybody else out here, you good with that, Steve?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, because that helps all of us.
That was a
you
good
know,
one. I know
and
I do that.
and it helps all of us understand that when we toxic think, right, we put our emotions behind it, and then we make ourselves crazy, right? And the crazier we get, the crazier the toxic we create. Think about when you go home, right? I'm sure everybody's here has had a bad day, right? What you would consider a bad day. Like my daughter, one of my daughters one time was working at the shop, and she took the brand new shop phone out and dropped it on the floor, and the whole screen smashed. And then she got all upset, and then she couldn't let it go, and then she couldn't get over it. And then what happened throughout the day was a whole bunch of chronic stuff that literally causes your bad day, because when you get in a toxic space, you know what? You drop the phone. Ask to clear that out. Let it go. Ask God, love, energy, that you have the best day no matter what, and you're truly happy. You're free of being upset about it. Clear the patterns and energy that created that. Thanks God for that for us from love, and put the best way to be from love. You have all the power, right? So when we do that, right, then all of a sudden she's trying to dust shelves. Things are falling off the shelves and breaking. Or, you know, she can't get through to somebody that she needs to get through to, right? And then she rips her favorite dress. You know, I mean, it goes on and on and on. And then the whole day becomes a whole bunch of fuck toxic, right? And she has no idea why that happens. And it's because once you set that mood and get in that energy, it's like a big snowball, right? It starts out as a little snowball, snowflake, and it just plummets, and it goes down the mountain, right, and becomes bigger and bigger and bigger energetically, right? So the sooner you address this stuff in the now, the better. Clear it out. Thanks God for me being free of this. Thanks for me having the best day. So clear it out and create what you want to happen from love. Everybody understand that? Yeah. And people say to me all the time, well, I never think of that, or I never do it. Today's the greatest day to start. Today is the greatest day to start. You know, there is no bad day to start. I don't care if you come here 20 million episodes of our show, right? And you don't do it till the 20th one or the 20 millionth one, right? But any day you want to start is your best time to start, right? For all of us. And you know, and it takes time. It's like walking and thinking. When you were a baby, the more you did it, the more it became second nature to you, right? The more you walked, the more you were able to then run, right? The more you learned how to read, the more books you would read, right? Same kind of thing. Everything is energy. And if nobody teaches us, they don't teach this shit in school. Because if you do what I'm teaching here, you're going to be your greatest you. And you're going to tell everybody who tries to stop you to fuck off. Why? Because you love you, and that's how it's done. Now, there's many ways to tell people to fuck off. It doesn't mean I have to beat the shit out of people. It doesn't mean I even have to say the word fuck off. I'm going to talk to God. Thanks, love. And I'm going to say, thanks, love, for handling this now, please. This person wants to stop me from being my greatest me, or is toxic and sending yucky or unwell energy out to me. Thanks, love, for speaking through me. Thanks, love, for handling this. And then all of a sudden, something will come out of my mouth, and the universe will say something like, you know what? This person was never your friend. Tell them that. Hey, man, you were never my friend. And they're going to go, because they won't be able to believe that I said that to them. But if that comes out of my mouth and I ask love to speak through me, then that's what needs to be said. And this is the new world, because it's not going to be about any more bullshit games, right, that people play that aren't the God's honest truth about what they're really feeling. If you like the fucking oil, yeah, man, I love the oil. Or you don't like something, you tell them. You don't play games. You come out from your heart. You tell the truth about how you feel. And if everybody asks love to speak through them and practice this, holy shit, nobody would be pissed off. Nobody would be upset. Everybody would get understanding that they didn't normally have, and have the best solutions. And before you know it, you raise your vibration so high that everything that's out here that's toxic goes away. And the whole consciousness is all love. How fucking cool is that? That's what this fucking show is about. I'm so excited, right? So we can change everything, right? But if I don't give you examples and we can't relate to it in our lives, and my whole life has been a fuckstorm of crazy. Why? So that I could live these experiences and share them with you, so I could get the solutions for me, and then share them with you and teach you how to do this, right? Because we're all the same. I'm not better than anybody. I just got this soul mission, and all my people have a variation of their own special mission, and they don't shine under me. They shine with me, and they shine as their own human beings, because in an egotistical space, it's all about me. But when we come from love and we work together in an unwell ego space, it's all about me. But when we come from love and work all together and be guided by highest knowing of love, then none of that happens. Right? And I'm not worried about who I am. And if my name gets out there in the show, well, yeah, my name has to be told to people so they can get on here. Absolutely. Right? But I'm not sitting here going, oh, this is my show. It's about me. You know, I'm drinking this water. I'm great. My water is great. I'm fantastic. You know, my people are great because, and it's all about me. You know what I mean? And did I remind you of how great I am? Right? That's like Barack Obama. How many fucking autobiographies do you have to write? Let me write 3 because 1 isn't enough for myself, because I have to remember how great I am, all right, in 3 books, right? So, I mean, but this is the truth of God, honestly, right? When you're really in a healthy space of God or love, I don't have to prove myself to anybody. I don't have to write 3 books to show myself one more time how great I am. I don't give a fuck about that. What I care about is my heart, and being in my heart, the people that I love, what I came here to do from love and living my greatest life. This is what I came here to do, man. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about it. Just like a lion. I walk in the door. If I'm a lion, I walk in the door. I'm a lion. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. And I don't care if you think I'm a lion or not. That's not my problem. I am what I am. And that's who I came here to be, right? And a lion doesn't get in those spaces. No. He enjoys being a lion. He loves his greatest life. And he does the right thing for the lion in his heart of a lion, right? Yeah, big, powerful stuff, right? Okay, that said, let's get on to some more questions. But before I do, anybody else have any other questions here in the studio audience? Not right now? Sophia, go ahead.
I had a thought. Where do you feel like I'll be in 10 years?
Okay, Sophia's asking where she will be in 10 years. Thanks God for the God's honest truth of where Sophia will be in 10 years. Interesting enough that you said 10 years. 10 is the one with God. What's coming in for you really is you're going to blow the doors off the world with new medical things, because the whole medical field is on its way to falling apart. It's already happening. I mean, we spent 3 or 4 hours in the emergency room with a toxic food allergy, right? And they didn't even help us, right? Remember that? Right? And that was all of our learning, that the systems are breaking down. We also had other people who told us that they went in for heart stuff and went to the hospital. They sat there for 3 hours and her husband died. I mean, this is the shit. Not saying that all hospitals and all medical stuff is like this, but it's not in a healthy space right now. All the systems, it's part of the grand design of astrology and God to get to the God's honest truth about what's the issues, what the problems are, right? This isn't to say hospitals are bad, but this is to tell you that everything is in the process of being revamped, renewed, changed to higher knowing of love. We've come here to do this work in Earth World, and this is what we're going to be doing. So this is also what you're going to be doing, because the new world isn't going to need degrees and things like that in the way that they used to, because it's all really bullshit, right? Because you've been doctors, you've been healers, we all have been for lifetimes, right? So if I feel I need this piece of paper that says I need this into the future, and this doesn't mean that it's right now, this is coming. Mark my words, it's coming, right? All right, so in 10 years, we're going to be in a totally different space, right? But the new hospitals are going to be centers like ours, right? All right, centers like ours, because when the shit hits the fan, or when people get really sick and there's not enough people, or people die in massive amounts, or and depending on what's coming, because there's so many variations of what's to come, the new hospitals, the new doctors are these healers from the beginning of time, like me, like you guys who are all watching my program, like anybody who vibes with us and is a spiritual healer and a holistic medicine healer. But it doesn't mean that traditional earth world doctors and ways are out the door. Everything that is God, as long as it is based in love, is all here for our greatest lives, to help and assist us. But there will be a mutual respect where if you don't have a degree, that doesn't matter. What is your skill level of love with God? Whether you're a surgeon, whether you're a nurse, right? Whether you're a holistic practitioner healer, whether you do energy work or homeopathic, right? Whatever your gifts and skills and tools, right? You're going to know who is this person, because if you're talking to love, who is the best person for you, the best healer, the best at everything, there'll be an energy that will resonate and be sent out, a vibration for you. Like when I first asked God, and I'm going to get back to your reading in 1 second, Sophia. Like when I first asked God, I said, you know, God told me to go all over the country, right? And do the work that I do. I don't know if a lot of you know, but I was in San Diego and Maine, and prior to COVID-19, we had a mall space, and we were just like rocking it, and we were going all over the country, right? And so guided by higher knowing to get our stuff out there, right? So what happens in this space, thanks God for bringing me back to that now, because I don't want to lose where we are with Sophia and all of this. Just give me 1 second. Thanks God for bringing us back to that. All right, so what happens is I went all over the place, right? All right, and this was part of our mission and part of our goals here. But I'm gonna hold this over here for a minute, and I'm gonna move back to Sophia, because what's happening is the paperwork is not going to matter anymore as things fall apart. You're going to know in your heart what the right thing to do is, and the people are going to know who you are. And when I was traveling all over the country, when I first started out, I said, God, how are the people going to know who I am? How are they going to know about my gifts and what I do as a healer, as a teacher, as a spiritual person? I'm like, shit, I got no business doing this. I have no degree. And you know what universe said to me? You don't need a fucking degree. They said they will know from your energy from lifetimes. You're a super old soul. They know you, they know your mission, they know what you came here to do, and the energy that you have will tell them. Pretty cool shit, right? This is true about you. Where it becomes a challenge is getting over our old earthwell beliefs about what we think should be, right? Because I feel like there is a possibility also that you will go to school, but in higher vibrations of love, where everybody is truthful, there isn't dark stuff coming in, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's a process. So you're going to have amazing gifts. You already do. You're fucking incredible. You have a photographic memory, which you already know about. All right. And you have an incredible skill set as a leader and a healer. And you're going to blow the doors off. So I feel in the future, you and some of our other key people here and new people coming into our shopping center, as well as wherever you want to take it, is where you want to go. I feel you're going to write really amazing books to help people, right? And all the stuff that we're all going through now is all part of those gifts, right? To make us all our greatest selves, right? So we got to heal our hearts first. Otherwise, there'll be challenges and we won't feel like we can do those jobs. We won't feel good enough in some way, shape, or form. We beat ourselves up. We feel like somebody's better than us. We cannot do that in the new world that is coming. The energy will not tolerate it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Crazy shit. So you're going to do amazing things. You're going to have channeled information coming in that's going to set the bar for the new medical world. I have no doubt about it, if you choose to do this and go down this path. This is 73 to 78% of your calling as you stand here right now. Cool as shit, right? Yeah. All right. So we got everybody in here. Let's take some internet questions, please. Thanks, Ray.
We have a few people saying hi. Teresa, Kenzie, Cheryl,
Awesome.
Angela, and Nita.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you, everybody here as well. Super, super glad and super grateful. Thank you. Okay, so what do we got, Ray?
Our first question is from Angela Pearl. She's asking for any tips on herbal or frequency healing that can be done for someone who has received the shot.
All right. There's a lot of different stuff that comes in here for us, and it gets kind of tricky and wild, right? So thanks God for the God's honest truth, the best way to say this. And remember, this is what I do and teach. So I'm going to ask God for the God's honest truth. I'm going to ask God for the best way to say this, the best of all the tools I need to answer this question for all of us, right? Ultimately, across the board, there is a whole bunch of tools to work with this shot and the things that are going on with that, the symptoms. The biggest thing that we all can do, right, is build up our immune systems, right? Through diet, vitamins, minerals, herbs, taking better care of ourselves, honoring us, as well as doing energy work, all right? So this is all part of that to get us in our best, healthiest spaces as well. But there are also some tips that come in for stuff as well. Your amino acids, right? Your, I think it's, what is it? liquid nano L-glutathione, I believe it is, and as well as your amino acids. You see, what we have to combat this with is what happens is the cells are getting destructive and then they can't, or destroyed, and they can't do the work that they normally do. Then your system gets shut down in some way, shape, or form based on like your family lineage. And remember how we talked about history a little bit in the beginning, like where your illnesses are through your whole family chain is where you're going to find your aches and pains, like my knee, and it's in my family lineage. So I came in already having these deficits in my soul, which then created them in my physical body, right? So this is about healing our immune system, healing the soul, understanding, right, the past history of each individual, where their chronic issues are, because everything physical is metaphysical. So the best way to heal everything is through doing metaphysical energy work as well as physical work, changing lifestyles, creating and working with God or love as much as possible, right? Because, like just like cancers in the old world ways, cancers just keep on coming back at some way, shape, or form. I mean, we all know people who have had cancer and they go, oh, my cancer's gone and I'm so grateful to be free of it, right? But they never did the metaphysical work to truly have it healed completely. And then 6 years later, 5 years later, 2 months later, they find out that they have it again. Because if you only heal this part, you're missing out on the whole, right? And so these are the challenges. So also there's something that somebody was telling me about, which universe keeps yelling at me, something about pine needle tea. So I want to share that with you too, right? Also remember with this stuff too, to help prevent you from getting sick, like there's shedding effects and things like that, because this is really biologically designed and it's pretty creep really, right? But you have all the power of God to either buy into this with your belief system or not. And you have tools, oils, food, right? Cell salts, right? Vitamins, minerals, herbs, right? So all these tools are going to help you and all of us into the future. So the universe is guiding me to these great cool tools because L-glutathione, nano L-glutathione in a liquid form, it gets assimilated really as easy. So you're going to be doing, and you will probably be doing research on all of this stuff into the future to find the best products, right? Because that's what universe is guiding me to. They said to me, Lynn, with what your symptoms are, get A, B, C, D, F, G, because the energies of everything going on out here is totally affecting me, right? With the shot, with the energy across the board, okay? So I need to build up my immune system. Otherwise, I can't do this mission, right? I'm screwed if my physical body doesn't work. So it's kind of like my friend over here and associate, Dr. Steve, is like, oh, well, you're kind of like the guinea pig, Lynn. And I'm like, yep, because I'm not going to do anything that I don't do for myself, right? That I wouldn't do myself and share it with you. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope that made sense, right? So anything I teach and do here, I'm working with God in universe. It's not like I'm saying, and I'm doing the very same things, right? So all guided by higher power, but we need multiple remedies and multiple ways because multiple people are going to have multiple issues within their souls, right? And that's where the shot is going to come out in the physical, right? In the physical. A big part is not being in your heart. When you're in your heart for you, you would never get the shot. That's the truth of God, right? When you love yourself in the healthiest, best way, you never sacrifice your health or be forced and made to do anything, right? So with all this bullshit about the manipulation with Joe Biden and all that, no way, no how. No. When it's self-love space, I'm going to be like, fuck you until I die. You're never going to put that fucking shot in my arm and you can fuck off. And that's how I feel about it. It doesn't mean that I can't honor you if you do, but if you come to me, I'm going to help you if you authentically want help from love or God or universe, right? But you're not going to rain on my parade and make me do anything because that's not what I believe in. That's not what love does, right? So stock up on all your stuff, vitamins, minerals, herbs. Ask love what those best things are. Ask love that you're your healthiest you. Ask love how to be that. But all these tools here that I'm telling you, liquid, what do you call it? There's also something else. Yes, thank you, Ray. Liquid minerals, right? Also for inflammation, turmeric, right? A lot of people know about turmeric because you have to be able to heal the cells, right? But you also have to heal everything else and it's layers of healing, right? So you have to be able to get the cell to be able to be repaired because the cell can't do its work. The cell can't do its work, then you're going to have all these symptoms and you're going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not unlike the AIDS epidemic. pandemic. Remember the AIDS? I don't know if many of you know, but when I was in the 80s, I went to the they had a big dinner, and it was all around the time of AIDS. I went to the AIDS Palladium night, and during that time, what they realized about AIDS is it beats the shit out of the immune system, right? So the shot is basically doing the same kind of thing. It's all kind of set up like that across the board. This is what universe, God, love, energy tells me, right? Without getting all scientific with it, it's just to share the truth with my heart from love in the highest form in practical, easy earth world ways that you can understand, because that's what I'm here to do. Because if I say all this bullshit and scientific crap like lawyers, right, you're not going to understand what the fuck I'm saying. And my job is to get to the masses. All you got to understand is that I tell you this, the universe tells me this, give you the same tools to check on it with source, you feel it in your heart, and you have everything you need, right? So, and everything I'm doing here in my life is what I'm teaching to you, right? And my soul came in here to do this, and so did yours. We're all part of that same mission, right? So if you run into problems and you need assistance and you need any of my skills and gifts, please contact me. We're here to help each other. Okay, so the bottom line is, build up the immune system. I feel you're going to be going more into this personally yourself, all right? But we need to heal the cells, right? As well as get rid of the inflammation. If you can't get rid of the inflammation and heal the actual organs and the things, they can never get the nutrition. And that's like a chronic problem. People buy hundreds of dollars even before the shot came along, right? If your body physically doesn't work right, it can't get all the herbs and minerals and things and vitamins that it needs to get, right? Either through food, through what you eat, or vitamins and herbs and supplements. If these things are not working right, you can't get it. And the body is a complex system. So you want to get their history. Why? History in earth world. So you can know where their greatest weaknesses are. Because it's common and chronic that things happen over and over and over again. If I have a skin disorder when I came in here, I usually will have it at some point all throughout my life. So what systems, right, come from that? In other words, what systems in my body are not doing the 100% of the work that they need to do, that I'm not getting the nutrients that I need, that would cause me to have a skin disorder? And again, like 70 to 73 to 78% of the healing of all people is in your digestive system, your gastrointestinal, and everything is interconnected. So all these things go together, and these are the areas where all of us are going to first look. And again, it's a process and it's layers, but you have to hit all of them. Otherwise, that cancer would come back, right? It'll come back somewhere else in somebody's body, because just removing the tumor doesn't remove the metaphysical or energy stuff, and it doesn't remove and it doesn't treat the whole entire system. Because the reason you got the cancer in a space, because it's your weakest point, right? And it's chronic. You have to heal stuff in there, wherever that point is, as well as across the board in your whole body. So where you're going to find your best healing tools for everybody here is within all of this, okay? So, and L-glutathione is an amino acid. It's fantastic for the immune system. But again, you have to see where each case is individual. So I'm not telling people to do this all across the board, or you in particular. What I'm saying is explore these avenues. These are some tools that me and Universe are doing right now, or love, or God, right? And I'm guided to share them with you. And you asked and you shall receive, right? But you do your research, because each individual person's case is going to be different, right? Like Steve may have back problems. Wendy may have thyroid problems, right? Jennifer may have problems with the bottom of her feet. You know, you just don't know. And it may be a chronic thing, but it tells you the story, because every symptom has all this other stuff going on behind it, and it's complex. Think about God. You know, we think this is just a lighter, right? But what we miss is it's got plastic in it, it's got metal in it. How are those things made, right? There's so much more going on in there. And then what does the black on it mean, right? What are the messages within it? So everything that is God is super complex, right? This is why man can't get it when he gets in his scientific mind. You have to be in your heart. Science is awesome when it's done from your heart. Everything must be done from your heart. That's what wisdom is. Talking to the universe, talking to love all the time, as much as possible. That's the truth of God. The more you do what I teach, the more you're going to be like, holy shit, Lynn, you're right. And it's not about being right for me. It's about giving you the best tools so that we can live our best lives. It's not right or wrong. It's living our best lives, our best dreams, our best society, right? Our best happiness, our best health, our best everything. So I know that was complex, as we're being pretty complex tonight, right? But these tools should help totally. And if you have any questions, holler, right? And again, do everything I teach. You don't know the answers, ask love for them. You don't understand it, ask love for the best, let's say, essential oils, the best cell salts for this person, the best vitamins, the best diet, the best foods, the best pain relief, right? In the moment. Because you're going to need stuff in the moment as well as stuff that's going to heal them long term in their physical bodies as well as the energy work in their souls. Because if you don't do the energy work in your soul, right, it will cause physical deficits out here in your reality, in your body, and in your thinking, right? So all of these things work together, and it's a complex system of God or love, right? And all these things work together for the best of everything that is God, right? So the key here is to know how all these things work. This is why modern medicine doesn't work, right? Is because I think that if I'm let's say a chiropractor, right? Let's say I'm a chiropractor, right? Chiropractic is fantastic and great, but we need so much more than just that. A chiropractic can help me, an energy chiropractic can help me in this moment with these things and to my overall health, but I need more. I can't just take those pieces out and expect all those pieces to heal me. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, so everybody out here understand that? Yeah, and chiropractic, just like my heating pad in the now, is a great tool, a fantastic tool to help me feel better in the now, as well as help me across the board with structural things, right? It's fantastic, right? But if this guy only does this kind of medicine and another guy only does that kind of medicine, right? And they don't all come together, then we're at a deficit because we have to heal the whole thing, not bits and pieces. This is why we go to one healer and then we move on to another, because we're searching for answers, and the answers will never come from each of these individuals unless they have the whole entire system figured out. And you know how you do that? By doing what I do. Talk to God, talk to love. This doesn't mean that it's all about me. This is the solution. These are the tools. You guys get that, right? So anything I can do, you can do. But you can't get those fucking answers unless you do this. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. And so the more you connect to the universe, the more all those answers will come, always. All right, everybody get it? All right, cool. All right, so go ahead. What's my next question?
Laura de Blasio says hello.
Hi, Laura. Thanks for coming. I fucking miss you. I hope to see you soon. Freaking love you. Go ahead. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't believe she has any questions yet. But Joanne Pantaleo, I believe, is asking for a 5-minute reading, please.
Okay. Joanne. All right, God, what's the God's honest truth, the best gifts, tools, love, energy, wisdom for Joanne now, please, across the board. Oh, can you please grab that, or can you reach that for me? Thank you. All right, little energy break. When we drop things, there's a reason for that, right? Kind of breaking up the energy. I'm just going to do a little more sage here. All right, what's a 5-minute reading for Joanne, please? Okay. Just going to sage a minute. All right, Joanne, you come in as being a healer, and you have a lot of super powerful gifts, but not unlike me, your biggest challenge is healing you, okay? And now, when I say that, that's how you're going to get past all these blocks. And guess what? This is the story for all of us. Where do we got to heal ourselves so we can be our greatest selves? Because you really do come in as having amazing gifts. So I feel you're going to be going down that journey with this more all through the fall for the next 1.5 to 18 months as everything changes and we all keep growing with universe. Or with God or love, and as all the changes come into the world. So you're going to be going down this healing journey. I feel like you're going to be exploring a lot more avenues on how to heal you. Just the last question that they told me, they said that is great sage advice for you to look into to heal you as well and into the future. They're also telling me the metaphysical work and getting in your heart space, that's going to help you a lot. They are telling me that you would like a partner that is the healthiest, best partner for you. And in order for that to happen, there's metaphysical work to do in that space as well. So just like you and everybody else, there's a lot of work to do here. There's also something that comes in here to help you do this. There's bicycle riding. comes in for you. I don't know. There's also something about sleigh riding. I feel like your father's here as well. Is your father still around? Because I feel like, or there is a father energy, like a grandfather. There's something about you sleigh riding and going sleigh riding. So if you live, I think you live in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken, or Northeast, right? The reason I'm saying this is I do think there's hills there. There's something about massive healing for you and going to the hills in Pennsylvania. And this is going to bring out those gifts and tools. But there is a grandfather or father figure here with me, and they're showing me this for you, and they want to connect with you. But also, it's designed by the question that you just asked, so that you can start like sleigh riding. And when I say start sleigh riding, but go and do it, because there's so much healing from your youth in this, as well as connections and going out and relearning how to have fun. This is the biggest key, right, for all of us, man. We don't know how to have fun. We're so busy fucking working our asses off, and then we get daunted with ill health because we don't allow ourselves to live for us, hence my shit and knee thing, right? Because I'm stopping me from moving forward, right, and doing the things that I love. When I don't do the things that I love, then it comes out in some way, shape, or form, physically in me or mentally, right? So this is about healing gifts and tools for you. I don't know if you have a daughter, but I feel like you do, and there's something about you sleigh riding, or it could also be somebody that you think is a daughter. It could be a best friend, but do it with some people that you love. But you can also do it by yourself. But I feel like there's going to be much more rewards out of doing it together, especially a daughter. Something about your daughter and you. Okay. Now, if you do not have a daughter, like I said, it's then somebody you have that connection with from past lifetime as well. Okay. Let me just see what else comes in for her. Journal. They're telling me start journaling. Start journaling what you're doing for your health, so you can really peg this, right? Because in the end, you'll have a lot of healing gifts and tools, not just for yourself, but to share with the world as we go down this path together. Okay. All right. And I'm going to do some lavender here, lavender oil. I always love Young Living and doTERRA. They help you to release. You want good quality products. You want a good quality product. You don't go to Walmart. You go to Nordstrom. That's why, right? You don't want a less than tool to help you, right? You want the best of the best of the best. That's what love wants. That's what love does. That's what love asks God. You ask God for, or love for, right? So lavender is a great tool to help us release, get rid of liver anger, as well as anything we get pissed off at. So I use a lot of lavender in my work to release energy. I put a little bit on my wrist, and I smell it, like if I get pissed off or angry, because I have a lot of fire sign in me, a lot of Saturn too. So, and so there's a lot of rage and liver things, right? Hence, that's what's happening with my knee here, right? So I have to deal with stuff that I've buried in my knee. So lavender will help you release a lot of this stuff. This is for Joanne, and this is for everybody across the board. We may have talked about this in another class. Again, and just to be sure and comfortable legally in Earth World, what I'm going to say is, the traditional thing is check with your doctor first, okay? So if you're worried about anything, and always check with your doctor first, just in case you're allergic to anything and any side effects. I even hate to say shit like that, because this world is so fucked up. It's just such a crock of shit, Either way, so I always say, talk to God. This is what God tells me. Follow your heart. Listen to God. And like I said, we just talked about the doctor thing. I can't even anymore right now. Okay, so meaning I can't even talk about it anymore. All right, so go ahead. Who's next?
Casey Marie says hello.
Hi, Casey
and
Marie.
Joanne says thank you.
You're welcome, Joanne.
Okay, and Kenzie Anderson has a question.
Hi, Kenzie. Thanks for coming. How can I help you? I think I know already what it is, but please.
She writes, "Hi Lynn, my granddad Norman passed away almost 2 weeks ago. I'm having a hard time understanding if he went to heaven/peace. He was an electrician. Since he passed away, my electricity has been messed up. Lights not working, fire alarms going off, etc. If he went to heaven, can he still visit me and cause these things to happen, or is he stuck here? Is he in peace?"
He's totally in peace. He's around you all the time. and you're right on, girl. You're so gifted. Kenzie, you don't need me to tell you this. You know that. But you know what? When we're hurting, when we lose people that we love and we're hurting, It's nice to call on people, which is part of the reason why you're doing this. You know in your heart that he's around you, right? But it's about nurturing. It's about love. It's about connecting. So that's why you're connecting with spirit through me, right? Because you're in need of these things, right? And that's what happens when we die. We want to connect with people. We need some extra nurturing, some extra understanding, some extra love. So you're super gifted, and I'm honored that you came to me, and I love you. I love you when I first met you. And as I told you then too, you're super, super gifted. Your grandfather is totally fine, right? He is fine. He loves you very much. He says that he didn't want to go, but he had to. There's connections here that you have with him that he has to release you first, so you can release you from, so that you can fly, like really fly, live your dreams. And his time here was complete. And he's happy, and he's saying thank you. You couldn't have done any more for him. And he's crazy about you. He's crazy about you. Oh, sorry, I'm crying because I can pick up as an empath and as a spiritual being, right? A spiritual person, which we all are, right? And connecting with my gifts and all of our gifts, with that we all have, right? Yeah. He's just crazy about you, and he wants me to convey that to you. I'm getting all emotional. All right. He's around you in the kitchen, and I know that and he's telling me he can move now all over the place. So he is all over the place in your house, and he's like excited. It's almost like he went back. He's showing me images like he's gone back 40 years, and he's like holding a coffee cup, like a metal coffee cup. Again, very old world soul, old world man, old world honors. And he's telling me that he's free now. He's free. He can move. He can live, and he's getting accustomed to everything. He's going back and forth, and he will always come in and be with you. He too has such a super powerful connection to you. He is going to be your guide for the rest of your life, as long as he and both you and your soul both so choose this. So he's going to come in and help and assist you. You can call on him at any time. He's super gifted, like you. He says you did a really great job, and they're showing me my scarf, right? He's saying there's something about a scarf. He used to like scarves, right? I think you may have used them. He used to like to see you with them and in them. And he's also telling me that he used to like them too. He's also showing me a hat that he used to wear on his head as well. And these are all things he's using to connect with you through me. Loves you, and he's saying to the moon, to the moon. Oh, I'm going to cry. All right. So he's saying he loves you to the moon. He's around you all the time. He's also in your living room as well. And he rides in the front of the car seat, and sometimes in the back right, like opposite of the like if you're in the driver's side, what would that be? Like diagonal in the back passenger seat, I think. He rides back there as well. He loves the work you do with animals. And he's also telling me he wants to share something special. There's something about a gift coming in for you with wild horses, and it's out west. So I feel like you're going to be going out west. He's coming with you. So you know, okay? Let me see. Is there anything else for Kenzie right now? He's showing me images of you in the room, and you coming to see him, and you taking care of him, and you being there for him in his for years really, and coming to see him. And he just is showing me like the great job that you did caring for him, and he wants me to share that with you. Okay, loves you very much. Loves you very much. Anything else for Kenzie? He's also showing me something about buttoning a shirt. Did you button his shirt recently for him? All right. So there's something about buttoning a shirt there for you. And balloons, red balloons. And a canoe. And he's telling me something about a canoe. All right. So I hope this helps you, girl. And if you want an appointment, I know we had talked, just let me know. All right. You might not need it after this, and I'm cool with that. Whatever works for you from love. Okay. All right. All right. Thanks. Go ahead. Who's next?
Marlene Budnick says hello. It's Marlene from Aberdeen, Maryland. I adore you, and I can't wait to reschedule.
Okay. Hi, Marlene. All right. Were you? Did you have to reschedule with me this past week? I'm just curious. I think I just want to connect. I feel like that's who I'm talking with. So I'm sure she'll answer in a minute. And what was her question?
She's just saying hi.
Okay. Hi. Thank you. And I look forward to it, girl. Gives us more time to get your astrology chart together. All right.
Ready for a question?
Mm-hmm.
Teresa Courtney Lloyd is asking for a 5-minute reading on her children and her grandchildren. And Marlene says yes, it is. From last week.
Okay. Yeah. Just making sure that's what I was feeling like. But connecting. All right. So Teresa Courtney Lloyd. Hi, Teresa. Oh my God. And speaking of you, Teresa, I want to come to West Virginia, and I saw that you went somewhere, like some cool place. I think it was in Romney. So I got to PM you, and I want to talk to you about it because I want to take like my kids out on like a birthday thing. So anyway, so I'll get back to you on that. Anyway, so back to your question about your daughter and your kids. You're asking me if there's anything for them in particular?
I think so. Just she has a 5-minute reading on her children and her grandchildren.
All right, your 5-minute reading is kind of humorous. I feel like you're the matriarch of the clan. You're like the mother elephant, right? And you like have to like, it's kind of like you have to like hammer the shit, man. It's like, it feels like you got all these teenagers and kids and you have to get them to get their shit together and with wisdom. It's kind of endearing, really. This is the images and the stuff that they're telling me that comes in. You have a lot to teach them, but there's also challenges as well with this. What's coming in is there's a middle daughter, and there's something, I don't know what her name is, but there's something about her connecting with the moon and moon energy. She's an ancient witch from a really long time ago. So there's connections to her with the moon. You all have these connections, but this one is like a spitfire, man. A spitfire. And I feel like in many ways, she's your greatest challenge. You may be consciously aware of this or not, but this goes back lifetimes. Also, what's coming in is it feels a lot of like the same old shit. None of them wants to break out of the box. So, it's like we walk along the path we always travel, and then we expect to see something new and exciting and different. And we're still on the same fucking path. So nothing really, ever happens because we don't get off the fucking path. We don't do something creative. We don't do something to change that. Both in physical earth world, we don't want to step out of our comfort zone or out of the box. And these new times in this new world, just like me doing the show, is all about that, right? I have to at some point say, you know what? This world is no longer like what it was. What are my dreams? What is my happiness? Where do I need to go? So for your children and your whole family here, right? This is for them. The youngest ones, of course, are developing their personalities, their moral codes and ethics. They're developing. And you play a really big role in this, That's what I like about you. You do have your shit together, and it's refreshing in a world where so many people don't know how to do the right thing. And that's one of the things, like, that's the hammering part. Like, hey, you bring it to their attention and you tell them the truth. Hey, you're my daughter, but even though you're an adult man, this is the right thing to do and you're not doing it. So you will continue, I feel, to do this kind of stuff. But I don't feel like this is going to be enough for you. And so, meaning you with this, so you're going to branch out in other directions. I do feel that you may end up here at our place at some point, not just because we love you and you're our friend, right? And you're my friend, but because There's more to it than that, far more to it than that. I feel like you have some amazing gifts and tools to share with the world, and we all in the future will be coming together more and more. There's going to be lots of transformation in these times. So if your kids, meaning your adult children, don't get on the path to make the changes that they need, or on a different path, right? Universe, Uranus and Taurus, Pluto and Capricorn, that's gonna Jupiter and Saturn is it Jupiter is Jupiter and Capricorn? All right, they're gonna just this energy, right? And the South Node and Sag, all this energy is just gonna and Uranus, man, is in play, and it's like an electrical lightning storm. So it's just going to go boom, boom, boom. And this isn't just for your kids and your family. It's for me too. That's my day. That's being in the emergency room. So we're being taught with this energy to balance this energy and trust God, trust love, trust faith. Go to God, right? Go to universe. Because what do you do when the shit hits the fan? You call out to love. You call out to God, right? That's part of the grand design. I don't care who the fuck you are, what your religion is. The new religion, man, has always been the religion, and it's love. It's love, right? So there will be some challenges coming in for them, adult children, and because this is designed to force them into a better, more powerful love energy space, as well as get them to heal themselves, right? So when whoever it is isn't doing the right thing, or isn't doing the right thing, meaning for themselves, right, from love, and doing the right thing out here in Earth world in a whole bunch of ways as well. In these times, the universe is unforgiving. All right, so it's gonna make you, to give you an example, right? 2 years, I don't know, was it 3 or 4 years ago now? I moved from one house to another, and universe told me for a whole year, they're like, you're gonna be moving, you're moving, and I'm like ignoring it, and I hear them, and I'm like, I know you told me that, right? I'm like, I don't want to hear it again, right? So I said, I know I'm moving, and then I'm stressing because where the fuck am I going to move, right? They're telling me I'm moving, I don't know where I'm moving, right? It's crazy, right? So, and I'm telling you this because this is a perfect example, right, of what I'm talking about. So they're telling me I'm moving, and I'm going, I'm not moving, right? January 1st, 3 or 4 years ago, they're like, you are moving, and you better get your shit together and start looking for houses because you're moving by, this is January 1st. They're like, you're going to be out of here by February 1st. And I'm like, no way. They're like, oh yeah, so get it together, right? So I start looking for houses, and I'm going, there's just no way. I'm not wanting to move, right? So just like your family and all of us, when we're on that path and we don't want to change, universe brings the change to us, guided by our highest heart self and our subconscious soul, right? And our souls, right? So what happens is I'm not moving. There's too much shit in my house to move. I can't go there. I don't want to do this, right? So what happens is I get a call from my landlord, and she tells me that the people who regulate the rents and houses are coming, and I have to be home, and I have to take care of this, right? So the woman comes from the city and gives me 26 violations to the house, right? Tells me all the things that are wrong with the house. I don't have smoke detectors, and this wall is falling in the bathroom, right? And this is happening over here, and there's a hole over here, and all these things need to be taken care of. And the woman's like, or you can't live here. She goes, you got 24 hours to get smoke detectors, or I'm closing your house up and putting blocks, like wood blocks on the door, and I'm calling the police. I'm like, what the fuck? Paper. Yeah, oh yeah, this is the city of Virginia Beach. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Girl was nasty as fuck. Don't worry, she reaps what she sows. So what happens is I'm like, this can't even be real, right? Because she's giving me all these things, and I'm going, hey, okay. So universe again told me I'm going to move out, and here is the example. They caused all these things, and I prayed on it. I said, okay, God, thanks for me not moving out. Thanks for everything being cool. Thanks for me being free and passing this inspection. I got 26 violations. The woman was a nasty bitch, right? And I was just like, okay, God, all right, right? So I'm like, but I still, if I can stay here, that would be great. So I call my landlord. I tell her about the violations. They give you 30 days to get rid of these violations. I'm like, is this for real, God, right? So universe is making all these things happen to get my ass out of the house, right? And with my soul, and I'm like, this just can't even be happening, right? So, but I'm still playing my cards, trying to get around God, right? Good luck, Lynn, right? I'm gonna create it different, right? So, but this is all part of my learning as well, right? So what happens is, I call the landlord, and the landlord says to me that I have to be home for all the changes and the corrections in the property. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm like, I have to work. So then what happens? I'm moving out. I'm like, fuck this. The universe, you're right. Bring me my house. Bring me this, right? So the bottom line is you're going to have a tough time, whoever it is, fighting these things in these times. So you can either pray on your shit, work with love energy, work with God, work with universe, create your reality, clear your blocks, and go with it. Or you're going to make it that much harder for yourselves, right? And if you can't do it, then people will be crossing over. And, so there's a whole, and not that crossing over is bad. You're just going to, whatever energy you are, you have to raise to the vibration of what's going on in the planet if you're going to stick around, right? Because that's the grand design here. We have to move into different spaces within ourselves, as well as be in alignment with love, right? So this is to tell you what's coming for them. And I know you're going to be a great guide and a great wisdom teacher for them, and you're going to be in your hearts. I feel like the kids are doing all great. The world is collapsing in all the systems because they're not truth of God based in the highest form of love, right? God's honest truth. They're just not it. So when they start to tell you and send you letters about your kids' behavioral problems or your daughters and all that shit, in your heart what the truth is, right? And so talk to universe, talk to God. Just remember this as you go forward, right? And everything will be addressed from love. Pray on everything. Ask love to take care of it. So there'll be challenges there too. But the whole idea, let the kids have freedom and be themselves, right? Because you want them to develop in a healthy, happy, positive way, right? And there's nothing you can tell me in this world when they start to tell you that it's okay for a 2-year-old and for kids to wear masks and go to school. There's nothing nothing you can tell me to convince me that that's healthy for them psychologically or in any way, shape, or form. Bottom line, right? So there's healthier ways, and the healthiest ways to do everything from love. You don't know how that is, you ask God. My kids don't go to school, right? All right, and I'm all guided by universe. They when I say they don't go to school, they will learn whatever they need to learn when the time comes, right? So, but they have gone through school systems, but they've been out of the school systems because I've had problems with the school systems for a long time. So we do private schooling, homeschooling, and things like that. So when I say my kids don't go to school, they don't. But there's solutions and everything. Ask God for them, because I'm not going to convert my children into the toxic ways that they have here, and I'm not teaching them fucking hate. So fuck them again. All right. So I know I'm pretty radical, but I have to be, because I can't be the guy who folds with this shit, because then I can't help anybody. Right. Because the guy who folds, look at the Congress. This is what's happening in the world. People be like, oh yeah, I'm going to stand up. And then they fall apart. Right. Because they ain't got no moral structure. They've lost their God space. They've lost their hearts, and they're not in it. When you love yourself in the healthiest, best way, you will never allow this to happen. And so I feel that, Teresa, you're going to do a great job. You're going to be there for your kids, and you're going to get through them. You're the matriarch of the family. But I do feel like all of this isn't going to be enough for you. You're going to get through these challenges. And what they're telling me about the challenges for your adult children is like, if they're like, universe is like, surprise, surprise, right? And remember that everything that we go through is part of the grand design of our best learning from love, and nothing is bad. It's all part of the design to help us and assist us to being our greatest selves, and with the changes here in Earth world from love. Okay? All right. So who's next?
Well, Teresa said that she loves you and that she's babysitting 2 babies of her friends to keep them from wearing masks at daycare.
How funny is that, right? So, yeah. So, and people are onto this shit. You can't not be. Truth of Earth world is in everything that happens, right? I can tell you I'm beautiful, but if you don't see it and feel it, then or it doesn't resonate with you, right? Then it's not the truth. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's one way to look at it, right? I can tell you I'm going to be there to pick you up, but if I don't show up, then you've learned about my quality of character, right? What's important to me, right? What I value, right? Maybe one time it's a mistake, but if I don't show up and you ask me another time, well, I'm not really your friend then, right? Same thing with the government, right? The second they start telling you what you have to do, this isn't a government for the people. It's happening. This is the truth of what's happening in Earth world. America is the freestanding hold of freedom for this whole entire Earth, right? So remember that. This is all about love, right? And America is the light for the rest of the world. That's why you guys, a lot of you guys are here, right? The rest of the world looks up to us, right? Looks up to love. So it's going to be a hard sell for them to really take over America. Think about that. And the more we wake up and open up, the more we're going to change everything from love. Okay? All right. So what else we got?
Nita Marmon wrote in a question. She said, my energy has been so off, feels like I'm fighting negative energy from others.
Yeah.
I also met a new guy that I'm not allowing in because I'm being protective of my heart. Can you please read why this is going on?
The reason your heart isn't you, the reason you're not letting this guy, hi Nita, the reason you're not letting this guy in is because your soul knows what it's doing. All right. There's work to do on your soul. So it's kind of like saving you from yourself, right? If I'm toxic and I don't love me, then nobody else out here can really love me in the healthiest, best way. If I have delusions about what my beliefs are about love, so then I'm not living in truth of God, and my relationship can't be the God's honest truth and can't be in the healthiest space of love, because it doesn't happen that way. The love that you want only comes from here, and that's for all of us. That's the healthiest, best love, right? You can get other forms of love in earth world, but you're always going to be at a deficit until you love yourself. So your subconscious soul is super gifted and super powerful, and there's work to do in here to change this. And your soul is going, no, not happening. So that's why this is happening. All right, was that all her question, Ray?
Yeah, her question was just why all of this was going on, essentially, the negative energy, feeling off, not letting the guy in her heart.
Right, and the negative energy is rough shit, man. I'm seeing dark angels. They look like, I'm sure a lot of you probably see them too, because you guys are so gifted.
Pennywise?
Yeah, Pennywise. They got like dark angel faces. There's a lot of darkness out there, because really this is really like Armageddon, and not like it is. It's the battle of dark and light. It's really like, it's not, stop saying like, thank you God for that. For me it is. It's World War III, really. And so you're going to see these dark energies, and they try to play on your dark energies. So you're going to be seeing them a lot. If you do your spiritual work, or you start working with God or love, you raise your vibration, and this starts to dissipate and stops happening. So your unwellness creates them to take advantage of you, as well as creates more unwell for you in your life, right? And then it's kind of creepy, and then the negative energy gets on you when you don't deal with your stuff, right? When I say gets on you, it's around you, and then you won't feel good, or you can pick up waves of it. But the higher you vibrate, the less of this stuff really happens, okay? So the more you work with love, and do what Spirit teaches through me, or in whatever way is best for you. But if it's not changing and you keep still having these problems, then you have to change the path that you were on, just like Teresa's adult kids, right? Just like we're talking about, right? If we keep doing the same stuff over and over, it's like Einstein says, it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a change. It's not going to happen, right? Yeah. Okay. So let me just see. And I do feel like in about 6 to 8 months, you will let the next guy in. But this guy is probably going to fall by the wayside. You may date him for a little bit, but he's going to fall by the wayside, because I don't feel like your soul's going to really let him in. And there's a reason for that. It's to save you from your own hurt, like from being hurt by him. But yet again, it's like what happens is our souls call in the same shit over and over, the same toxic partners or a variation of that energy, because it's in us, in our souls. And unless we heal that, it doesn't change, right? So we have to change us and create what we want from love, and work on us and live our best lives from love to get the karma and the dreams that we want to happen. And that's really how it works, whether it's your love relationships. And we also, with this, it's not necessarily that these things are all bad about us. Many times we can have delusions. A famous, or a, not famous, but a very well-known idea, like in astrology, about Libras, is that Libras are all about relationships, and they see things with these rose-colored glasses on, right? And so they don't see the truth of things, right? So that creates them to have relationships that aren't based in truth of God or love. And so that's an illusion that, let's say, I would have or had to, right? That I need to be free of. It's an energetic pattern, or an energetic patterns, right, that are in my soul from lifetimes that we need to be free of. And that's what we're talking about when I talk about this stuff. Okay. All right. So I feel like you will work on this. The bottom line is your soul it wants to stay here on the planet. It's not wanting to accept anything less than the best. So follow that cue, right? Otherwise, you're going to keep creating partners that are toxic for you and keep doing the same thing over and over. I know. I think I've had like, good God, I don't even want to tell you how many partners I think I've had. It's like, I cringe, all right? I will tell you this. I've been married twice, almost a third time, and divorced twice. That's plenty. Now I'm like, okay, God, I ain't get another part until we clear this shit out, because I'm not doing this again. Just not, right? Okay, so there you go. Who's next?
Dawn Marie is asking for a 5-minute reading, please.
All right, Dawn. What's the God's honest truth? A 5-minute reading for Dawn Marie. All right. So when your soul came in here, Dawn, what they're telling me right now is this is for you, Dawn Marie. If you have your last name, that would be great. If you can share it, if you're comfortable with that. If not, that's okay. Because they're telling me to do a reading on your name, which is interesting enough. Dawn. You came in as Dawn. Dawn is the sunshine. It is the rising sign, right? It's dawn. It is the dawn, right? So what's funny about this is it's about new beginnings. You came into this life to have a new life, a new beginning, a new world, because you're tired of the same old shit. And all of us, in some way, shape, or form, are doing this because we're tired of our own toxic bullshit. We're tired of being miserable. We're tired of being sick. We're tired of being unwell. We're tired of not living our dreams. We're tired of not being happy, right? So your soul, it being in your first name, it's the dawn of a new day. The sun is coming up. Great things are coming in. So, and I also feel with this, there were some good things in your childhood, and then there were some toxic things, and they were all part of the grand design as you go down this journey. The Marie, which is really funny, which is challenges here as well. In the middle of your life, what comes in is like a Marie Antoinette, right? People will, right, and freak out. So I do feel in the middle of your life and throughout your life, you've had some challenges, right? If you think about the story of Marie Antoinette and the toxic that goes on there, in order for you to have this new dawn, this new life, right, that your soul has created and came in to have, right, the Marie part of you creates these things so that you can have that new life. So you address the things that need to be addressed, and like Marie Antoinette would bring in suffering and hurt and pain and delusions and depression and anxiety and toxic, and it has a propensity to bring in those energies and death and dying and really challenging things. Why? So that you can heal your soul. Because what happens in Earth world is if we don't work on our souls and do, like, let's say what I teach, or work with love all the time, right? If we do not do this, then we allow our souls to create, and through wisdom of lifetimes, right? And what happens when we do that is we create subconsciously, and our soul creates these toxic things to happen because we're not getting the message, right? And until the point of, and this is enlightenment, where we have such a massive amount of suffering that we can't fucking not ignore it. And this is part of the grand design of God in Earth world. When you don't have your shit together, this happens, right, to whoever it is, right? And whether you go through all this suffering and the ratio of suffering for lifetimes, like some people can take a lot of fucking suffering before they get God, before they cry out to God, or before they're willing or can see or understand or make the changes that they need to make. It's like, it's what you call the dark night of the soul, right? And we're all going through massive, massive changes now physically that are really, really tough. And a lot of us are going through this as well to really, truly get enlightenment and be our greatest selves. So your life journey, has been a challenge, will continue to be a challenge. But the more you, like me, and I have a similar life journey, man, you didn't come here to fuck around with bullshit. You came here to do a mission. And the biggest number one part of that mission is to heal yourself. And everybody who's here on this planet has come in for this mission, right? But your story of your soul and your name, this is your name, this is your identity. But on the other side of this coin, right, with all this toxic, is, did she give us her last name yet?
No, she is not.
Okay. All right. You could also PM me your last name, because your first name is the beginning of your life usually, and they all work together, right, as a general rule, and your middle name is the middle of your life, and the ending is the end of your life. But you have the power, just like malefic planets and benefic planets, right, in astrology, right, what you consider positive or unwell, you have the power to work with love and create everything in your name to be magic, everything that you are to be healed, everything that you want to live in your dreams just by working with love. So what happens is your soul creates pain and suffering subconsciously. It's part of the soul's grand design here in Earth World and metaphysical law of Saturn's Earth World, man. You don't get the message, just like when you drink and drive 50 million times, right? And you do it for like the 10th time in a row, or the 3rd time in a row, or however many times, and your friends go, man, you shouldn't be doing that. Let me take your keys or whatever, or they're not there, right? But you keep on doing it. At some point, the cops are going to get you, right? Because you're not doing the right thing. So in Earth World, right, that's Saturn's Earth World saying, hey, man, you're not doing the right thing. All this toxic shit is going on in your life, and now we're going to bring it to you firsthand in Earth World through suffering, right? Because, and how do they do that? They give you a $10,000 fine for DWI, sometimes there's prison, then you got to pay all this money for a lawyer, and all this money and all these rules and restrictions they put on you, right? And while it is part of Earth World that this happens, it's Saturn's, right, law of universe, right? If you are in society, this is how it works in society. But if you don't do the right thing from love, then you are more likely to have this happen to you, because you're a jackass. You're not dealing with your problems. You're medicating through alcohol, and then you're putting other people's lives in danger. And you can only do that for so long before the dark angels come to join you. Truth be told, right? So, or you have to get your shit together. Go ahead.
Her last name is Brandenburg.
Brandenburg. Okay.
Brandenburg.
And
She says that you
Brandon,
know her.
what?
She says that you might know her.
Okay, I probably do know you. I have to put together, and what I'll do because I have a lot of people that I know and a lot of energies. So a lot of times I can't place the energy with the name. I feel like I do know you when I get in the energy. So thanks God for letting me know who this is, and they'll give me an image. Thank you God for that for me now, please. And the best way for us and all, or something better, and they'll show me this. All right, Brandenburg, right?
Brandenburg.
Right. Interesting enough. Right. So Brandenburg tells me that your challenges are great. Right. I have a friend here who has a son named Brandon, and he has lots of challenges too. So that's at the end of your life. Right. But Berg, right. Interesting enough, Brandenburg is an old world name. It has a lot of royalty and a lot of positive, healthy energy of not necessarily elitist energy, but more of, the energy of kings, the energy of lords, the energy of old world, high-end prominent positions. So what does that tell me? It tells me that you have the ability at any time to change all of this, and in the end you can bring the end to the beginning, you can bring the end to the middle, you can bring the end to your whole entire life. The second you grab the horns of the bull that you got to ride on in this lifetime, right? The second you grab the bull by the horns, right, and change your life and start working with love, you step into all of that power. That is the Brandenburg name. It's a very old world name, and it carries that energy with it, which is why they were guiding me to ask you for the last name. So it's pretty amazing. So this is all part of your journey. So this also tells me great things are coming for you as quickly as you want or not. You know what I mean? It's up to you, girl. You got this. You got this. All right. So who's next?
Casey Marie would also like a 5er.
Oh, the 5er. All right.
Casey Marie's also been saying that she's been very angry lately as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she was asking about that, if she can heal through anger.
Absolutely. I'm great at raging. All the people who know me, they're like, oh, Lynn's having a moment. And I'm like, okay, God, the second it happens, I'm like, clear it out, heal it, change it. Let me be free of this. Whatever in me is causing this to happen. And let me release it all, right? But in my people space, right, there's a lot of different ways anger manifests. If you have a lot of fire sign in you, right, you're bound to have anger, right? If you have a shit ton of water, you're going to be a big crier a lot of times, right? That's Pisces. That's especially Pisces and what is the moon? Cancer, right? The Cancer is the moon, right? So these guys are massive criers, right? But the healthier you get within your soul and with your emotions and stuff, and that's part of the journey. But usually there's incredible sadness. A lot of times what happens is, as fire signs, we smash that sadness into rage, right? We smash it down within our soul, and then we don't deal with it, right? Because we're sad and we're hurt and we're miserable, right? And that rage comes up, and it's that fire energy, right? So despite being, or along with being, a spiritual person, right, I am also a human being, as are you, right? So there are times when things piss me off, especially in these times in Earth World, and usually that's when somebody actually they're telling me all the time, is when somebody doesn't honor me, be it an old friend, be it on the internet, be it here in my space, right? If somebody doesn't honor me, that's when that wildfire comes up, because I love me in the healthiest, best way. And what happens with rage, that's one of the things that would happen, right? Because you wouldn't be raging, right? I wouldn't be raging if they were honoring me, right? So rage is my go-to emotion, right? Because I have so much fire. I have like a Sag rising and a whole bunch of other stuff going on, right? And then there's your subconscious chart, and then there's a lot more to explore with that. But without getting too much into the astrology and getting back to your question here. So the rage, just like any emotions, need to be felt. Like water signs, we usually get the victim mode, but having fire sign is a very passionate and powerful sign, right? Or having fire energy in you is a passion and a powerful thing. So a lot of times the fire will mutate that sadness into that rage, right? But it doesn't get in a victim space. Like one of the things like Aries does is it stomps on through it and it keeps on going. And it's kind of like somebody hits you and they say, get up and be a man. And that's what Aries does. And that's what a lot of times fire signs do. They get up, they take it, they roll on down the road. However, that rage, that energy has to go somewhere, because you weren't honored. Why did that happen? How do I heal this in me? Clear it all out. Ask love to clear it out. All consciousness, all energy that is that in me. Ask love for the best way to be. But also, when people don't honor you, there's a reason you're getting enraged. And there'll be times when I'll be like flipping out or yelling or having a moment, and I come home and I'm like, look guys, I'm supposed to be here for lunch. I'm going to go over there and lay down for 10 minutes. And when I'm done having my moment, I will come back and speak to you, because I don't want to be nasty and unwell or toxic and rage on somebody and send that energy out, right? So there's a healthy space of doing anything. It goes along with, like when people say to me, they ask me to do something and I don't feel good about it. So I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to think about this and then I'll get back to you, because I'm not just going to answer and react, right? That's a lot of times what fire does. It just burns it up, right? It answers and reacts. But in my love energy space, I'm going to say, okay, this doesn't feel right. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to ask universe, I'm going to ask love how to change that and work with God or love the whole time. So this is what it behooves you to do, but you also want to be in a healthy space of love. So what do? Meaning, and with your emotions. So what I do is I say, okay, God, thank you for the best way to be with this fire energy, the best way to release this energy and my emotional stuff, right? Because sometimes, because honestly, there's a healthy space of everything, including rage. Rage and passion go hand in hand, right? And sadness and victimhood as well, right? And it can manifest in so many different ways, right? And like anxiety and being neurotic, right? Those things too, right? So there's all different aspects, and there's more to it than that, but these are all psychological behaviors and patterns and energies that are in all of us, right? And how do we do that? We ask God or love to be balanced emotionally, to be free of the toxic in us, right? To handle this now, please. Let me be truly happy. Let me release this. Let me have the best way to handle this. Let me be free of this rage, right? And there's also tools in Earth World that you can do to release it. And that's this lavender. You saw me put it on, and then I smell it on my wrist. I put it on my wrist, right? And I use that all the time, especially as of late, because we are releasing so much stuff. So what you're going through really is normal, and it's natural for you as this process, right? How you handle it is everything. The best tools and the best way to handle this, thank you, God, for that for us. But you also can do this and clear our blocks that stop that from happening. And then ask love to speak through you. Ask love to handle it and create what you want to happen. So you can clear this stuff out, create how you can be your best you, and go with it, right? So this is how you would deal with this in your best way, right? And everybody's different, right? So I know people who cry a lot, same kind of thing. Ask love to have your moment, have your grieving, have your rage in the healthiest, best way, right? Because sometimes you need that rage, right? We have gone through lifetimes in armies, right? In armies where that rage is what won wars, right? Because we were passionate in our hearts, and you don't take my shit from me. And what happens is that makes me rage. And it's not unlike what they're doing here in this world. So you're picking up on the rage from out here, as well as it's activating that in your soul for release. Your soul is doing that. And this energy is all part of the grand design of God to help us all release stuff, heal stuff, and understand as well in like what's the truth about what's going on here too. All right. Okay. And then she wanted a 5-minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's something about school coming in for you, Casey, with your 5-minute reading. School with the kids. I feel like you may try to do this, but at some point you're not going to do it anymore. Send them to school. I feel like it's not in your best interest. Let's see what else. There's also something about you schooling not only your own kids, but taking on other people's kids. And there's going to be a lot of stuff like this coming into the future for everybody, where people are coming together from love. That's the new world, coming together, helping each other out. Hey, I'll watch your kids, and you help me, and I help you. So there's something about this coming in for you. There's also something about you getting yourself flowers, okay? Flowers to help with the rage, right? Flowers to love you, because if somebody doesn't honor you, then it's easy to get in a raging space, right? Because that is the natural way, right? Raging or getting upset in some way, shape, or form, right? When somebody doesn't honor you, okay? And then so the flowers are going to help you with that. There's something about flowers for your healing and taking care of you and nurturing you. You're always giving as a mother. You're giving. What about you? What about you? It's time for you to do things for you. Make sure you go out, that you have nice times, that you do things for you. They're telling me, even if you have to go out to a restaurant, sit by yourself. Have a nice dinner at a place that you love. Now, you can bring a friend, but I feel like you're always giving, and you need to quit that shit sometimes. You need to give to you, right? And you'll find, right? Like, I traveled all over the country, right? Like I was talking about before a little bit. I traveled all over the country, and it's probably going to be coming in the future as well, that I'll be going over all over in public places in time again. But the reason I'm telling you this is I remember I went to this little hole-in-the-wall restaurant. I believe it was in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I ate there by myself. But it might have been Virginia. I think I've had a few of these experiences, actually. I think I've had 3. But either way, it was one of the best times. I sat there. I had like a glass of wine. I had a lovely dinner. And it was lovely. And I didn't have anybody there. And it was just me. And I enjoyed the food. And it was just a really nice time. And it's also about getting used to being alone, right? Being cool with it, saying I can have a good time without other people, right? And I can do beautiful and amazing things for me, like eat in an expensive restaurant, and I deserve this, and I love me, and I deserve great things. Do you see? So this is coming in for you to help you as you heal you and nurture you and grow into a more healthy love energy space for you into the future. The kids thing comes in. If you're not journaling, it comes into journal. That's going to help you with your rage. And one of the things that they're telling me you could do with that is ask to be free of it and burn it up with a match on a full moon, and then ask to be free of it, just like old times when we were witches. All right. So go ahead. What's the next question?
Amy Mitchell Manuel would like information about her soulmate and twin flame. When will she be with her soulmate?
All right. What is her name? Amy
Mitchell Manuel.
All right. So what is it that you're looking for, Amy, is the question. Are you looking for the best partner for you, or are you looking for a twin flame relationship or a soulmate or like a combo deal? Because what it feels like to me with universe is that you're really about this relationship and you're like crazy with it. Okay, I don't mean this in a negative way. It means just that your whole life is this. And when we do that, we create a lot of pain and suffering, right? Because we're not honoring ourselves first. Okay, so and here's the other side, right? So this doesn't necessarily mean that what you're doing is a bad thing. It's just not that it's not in the healthiest space for you. So the twin flame, the soulmate, these are just relationships that you can have, but they're not your end all be all. What you want to ask love for and God for, and this is for everybody, ask love for the best partner for you. And many times you'll bring in a twin flame and or a soulmate, depending on where you are in your spiritual journey, because all these things and their titles are all part of our learning lessons. So a twin flame, more often than not, especially in my family, and in more high-end metaphysical stuff, the twin flame stuff, right, is done not in the traditional way of earth world vibration that people think. In other words, we don't actually a lot of times have the relationship or physically be in a relationship or get to those spaces. A lot of it's done through dreaming. A lot of it's done through metaphysical, right? So that's why I say, what are you asking for? And do we all know what it is that we're asking for when we ask for these things? You know what I mean? Because a twin flame relationship is more often than not a major tough relationship to go through, but it's about learning self-love. It's about your spiritual journey. It's about healing things in you, right? Now, it can be a really great ultimate relationship, absolutely, but more often than not, 57 to 93%, it's a toxic fuck storm, right? You usually end up with your husband's neighbor's friend, right? And everybody knows about it, and somebody fucking videotaped it, and then they sent it to your husband, and you're still having an affair with this man because you're crazy and you love him. I mean, this is the kind of crazy shit that happens. Or, you know, or he says he loves me and he's never there. And so these things are designed to get the toxic out of you, right? I know that sounded kind of crazy, but the truth of God is these twin flame relationships are more often than not the most challenging. You know, one minute you have a great partner and the next minute you have great sex and you have a great partner and you think, oh, this is great. And then you don't hear from them for a month because they ghost you, because the twin flame, there's a chronic epidemic there where they do this thing where one of the partners is more spiritually advanced or ready for this than the other, and the other one runs, right? So remember, what is it that you're asking for, and why is it that you want what you want? I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, well, I want this guy and I want that guy, or I just want to go to Greece and I just want to do this. And I'm like, dude, I mean, you got your priorities fucked up. What you want to do is you want to ask God or love for the best relationship for you, the best partner for you, and that you be the best partner for that person from the purest form of love, and that you have the best time, and that you're super attracted to each other, and you have the greatest relationship, and you like the same things. Think about, write down on a pad what you want. And the reason I'm telling you all this is otherwise you're going to end up keep on pining for this for a long time, this relationship that you want, or right, you're going to create a partner that's going to be just the next step in your suffering, right? But if you grab the bull by the horns, start working with universe, start working on your self-love space, this will be the most, whatever relationship that you create will be the most harmonious and best one, because you'll be at a vibration where the partner who comes in has the propensity to make it work with you, as to not because you didn't work on your stuff and your soul and heal the stuff that needs to be healed from love. Do you see what I'm saying? So this all behooves you to do. What you do with all this energy that universe just shared with me to help you out with this is entirely up to you. You can say, well, Lynn, fuck you, right? You can say, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this anyways. And there's no wrong here. And you can very well do this, and that's okay. However, these tools are designed so that you can avoid, what I'm telling you here is designed so that you can avoid this and create a great relationship. This way you can go out with people and you'll know right away, once you do, as you do, and once you do and work with love or universe, you'll be guided and you'll know who to date, who not to date, who's toxic, and you won't waste your time with this. And then you can move forward. And that's really, and it'll be part of your creating your best partner for you as well. So you're going to say, you know, you may go to a place with this guy and like this thing about him, or another partner over here and like this thing about him. Your soul is going to be working these things out as you go down this journey if you choose this path. If not, that's how you create from a subconscious level, right? If you don't do your work and you are less likely to work with God, there's no wrong or right here. It's whatever your soul feels. But at some point, we all get to this destiny where we've had enough pain and suffering. So your best way to handle it is what they're telling you through me here now. And this is for everybody. You want the best relationship, ask love for it, but start working on your own soul, right? Because the more you love you, the more your partner can say, I love you, right? That's been my greatest challenge with my ex. It's like, hey man, I love you. And he doesn't fucking say anything. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I'm like, God, why can't he just say he loves me? And the universe goes, why can't you say that you love you, Lynn? I'm like, fuck. I'm like, there it is. There it is. It's so simple. There's still parts of me that I'm working on. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a person too, right? So I know this journey. Being a Libra Scorpio, oh my God, so get it, right? So your soul is guiding you. You'll go on, it's always guiding you, right? Your highest heart self, your subconscious soul runs the show, and you will have a partner. There's work to do on it. I feel you're not going to have him for a while. It feels like, again, 16 to 18 months, but I feel like if you go through this journey, you're going to get it a lot faster, all right? But also you're going to have a good time because you're going to be dating different people and figuring out what you want and what you don't want. And if you embrace this, right, and all this works, and you're going to have the best time, and you ask love or you ask God for that. Thanks God for that for me. So it doesn't have to be no shitstorm, right? It can be the greatest time that you can have in your life. And who knows, you know, you may have Venus and Gemini and be like, yeah, I don't really want a partner. Because you might be in a really healthy space. And then the more you don't want a partner, the more the universe is going to be like, oh, here's somebody, you know, right? So anyways, who's next? Wait, give me one more second. I want to see everybody out here, and anybody out here have some cool questions or any questions you want to know. Of course, they're always going to be cool.
I have a question that I asked last week, but we ran out of time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Oh, thanks.
Okay,
Yeah,
Wendy. Wendy has a question.
Last week I set my fence on fire by accident.
Uh-huh.
And other than being pretty dumb about it, was there any other kind of meaning behind that?
Like, okay, so Wendy's wants to know the metaphysical meaning of a question that she asked last week, and it was setting your fence on fire, right?
Yeah, I had filled my tiki torch. I had overfilled it, so I dumped some of it out, and I guess the excess still kind of ran down. But when I lit it, it was fine.
Oh, I've been there.
I ran
It was a
upstairs.
really good torch.
Yeah, I ran upstairs to switch my, just change it to my pants. I was going to go sit on the deck and finish, watching the live.
Yeah.
And I come around to grab my drink, and I look out through my sliding door, and my fence is afire. And I was like,
So Wendy spilled the tiki torch shit in her backyard onto the fence, and the fence got on fire, and she went upstairs to change before that happened. And then she looks out the window, and the fence is on fire.
Yeah.
That's really funny, but not really. But it's funny now, right?
yes.
So, of course, there's plenty of metaphysical messages in this, right? All right. So, Wendy, where are you lighting all these fires, right? What's going on in your life? Where are you lighting all these fires, right? Fire energy, passion, right? So, it's about lighting fires for yourself, right? What are your dreams? What do you want to happen? Fire energy is passion, right?
Okay.
Here's fire. Fire is passion, right? So...
I don't want to set my house on fire.
No,
I
of course
definitely
not.
don't want to do that. That's not a dream,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Not a dream of mine.
Okay. All right. Let me see what else. So the bottom line is fires with passion. Where are you setting fires, and where are you not following through? Because fires burn out quick, right? They burn out pretty quick. And where's your passion, and what is it that you want to do, and where are you going with those things? So this is about your soul saying, "Hey, let me tell you in Earth world what's going on in here." And it works both ways. Messages come in Earth world, messages come metaphysically, both ways, right? So this energy is this fire energy, but also where are you wild and out of control? And then run from it. Good one. Right? And that's really all of us. Where are we wild and out of control? Well, not all of us. Some people are more mellower than others, and that many times is a good thing, right? So so do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So where are you wilding and out of control? Where are you not paying attention to what's really going on? So these are all things that come in with that message. Where are you putting up fences? Right? And then burning them down, right? Where do your fences need to be burnt down? Do you see all these messages? Yeah, there's a whole ton of messages in this. That's why I say a lighter is never really a lighter, right? And, you know, this pen is never really just this pen, right? This oil has a lot of different healing properties. It's really great, right? It doesn't do just one thing, and then the bottle has messages as well, you know? So there's all kinds of amazing stuff in here. So those are all things to look at, and you get a notepad, write them down. We can work together and clear them out. You can bring them here, you know, and heal them, as well as you can do it yourself too, right?
Yes.
All right. And also, because there's so much fire, take a look at the fire energy in your chart, right? That would be that's what they're telling me is a really good energy, right? What, you know, just like if you face plant in the earth, take a look at your earth sign shit, okay? Because that's your soul telling you what's happening in earth world and how it reflects in the areas that you need to look at in your chart with your shit. Do you see what I'm saying when I say astrology? Yep. So, and this is what they're telling me, you know, to share with everybody so that we can all, you know, or you trip and fall in the earth and you crack your knee, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, something happens that draws your attention to whatever it is that you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Or you go on a bike ride and there's a mound of dirt and you land in it. Well, I got to look at the earth sign and what's going on in my chart. It behooves me to, you know what I'm saying? So these are all messages and ways that you can work on you and look at these different aspects and things in you to get your best healing across the board, both in your OG chart, your subconscious chart, and again, of course, there's a million other ways and systems in astrology to take a look at this. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So you good?
Yep.
All right. I love you, girl. All right. What?
I said more stuff to work on.
More, oh yeah, more stuff to work on, right? It's like the Pisces wave. Tons of stuff to work on. Okay, so how much time we at? Where are we at right now?
9:05.
Oh my God, it's 9:05. Holy shit, it went by fast, right? See what happens when you pray? I said, thanks God for going quick, it being the best it could be for everybody, the best questions, the best everything, right? And boom. Here we are. All right, so thank you guys all for coming. We'll be back again next week at 7:15 p.m. on Sunday night, as long as Universe guides us. And so I hope to see you here next week. Thank you all. If you can donate to our mission and what we do here, fantastic. Because the more we help each other, and in any way that you can help us, please do. Like send and share out our stuff. Tell people about us. And because the more people we can help see the God's honest truth about what's really going on in the world and teach them, you know, they don't have to believe everything that we say here, but what it behooves all of us to do to change the world is be and come from love. Be in your heart. Okay? Thank you, everybody. I love you guys. Super blessings. Thanks again. And thank you, everybody.